look at that. It's happening.
I know.
Schmigadoon, a
can't
Broadway
believe it.
musical. It's so crazy. I love this so much.
Aw.
I loved your TV show. I loved what I
thanks.
saw. I saw it in Washington, D.C. I'm thrilled it's on Broadway. How are you feeling right now? I mean, you keep saying dreams come true.
Yeah. No. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe it. I mean, I just think of little Cinco. His head would be exploding right now. Just the idea that, like, I've written a show which is actually going to be on Broadway. It's crazy.
Tell me about Little Cinco. Little Cinco had cast albums around.
Yes.
Is that true?
From my mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Camelot, South Pacific, Guys and Dolls.
Go-tos. Okay.
My Fair Lady. Those are the ones that I grew up on. And
Yeah.
So my mom was definitely the inspiration for my love of musical theater. Yeah.
It's funny, that was a time when I feel like every household had those, right? Back then it was like
Yes.
everybody had the Camelot album.
Yeah, you had to.
Sound of Music,
Yeah.
like some of these like classic albums
Yeah.
people had.
Yes, the culture was very unified at that time.
Yeah. So Schmigadoon is, of course, a stage adaptation of your two-season Apple TV Plus. Am I saying it right? Apple.
Yes.
Apple TV Plus TV show, which I adored. It's basically season 1.
Yes.
Turned into a stage musical, and I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I obviously knew we were dealing with great songs, great characters, but what you've pulled off in turning it into a stage musical is very impressive. I was really wowed by it. So was that daunting for you, the idea of taking, I mean, how many hours was season 1?
Like, 3 hours,
Yeah.
6 half-hour
Like
episodes.
once you combine them all. So, but you had to make a lot of, what was that process like of figuring out what would, and obviously you have a great collaborator in Chris Catelli,
Yes.
the choreographer. So tell me about the process.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's kind of crazy is I had the idea for Schmigadoon over 25 years ago.
As a stage musical.
And it was originally, I had thought of it, this will be a stage musical, but then I wrote one song and then got busy with my screenwriting career and sort of set it aside.
The Despicable Me movies, a lot, you did very well. Yeah.
I got busy with all those sort of things. So in some ways it felt really natural. Almost feels less like an adaptation. I keep calling it Apple TV Plus. That was our out-of-town tryout.
Sure. Yeah.
And in some ways it was just sort of, this was the refining of the idea. And so all I had to do is, but initially I did think it would be a little easier than it was, because I took those 6 scripts and I lumped them all together, but I realized, there's a lot more to it than that. You know, in a TV show you can cut back and forth a lot more easily. And
you have to simplify a lot.
Yeah, I had to simplify, and I took a look at Oklahoma, and the first act all takes place in one setting, right? So I wanted to limit the amount of settings and really kind of reimagine it for if this had originally been birthed on the stage, what would it be like?
Right. So obviously we're spoofing a lot of things, but it's basically Brigadoon.
Yes.
Not the shocker of the list. Music Man, Oklahoma, my favorite, Carousel. When Billy Bigelow walked on stage, not Billy Bigelow, but
Danny Bailey. You mean? Who's this Billy Bigelow you're referencing?
The great Max Clayton. It's so much fun. You have so much fun, sort of combining characters and morphing them together. When I first saw this show, I was like, I need to meet this man. Like, what is going on in his brain? I mean, it's just like, it's so wild. I mean, I guess it seems like maybe an obvious idea, but it's not. No one ever did this. No one ever thought of honoring Broadway musicals in this way.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started pitching it, we heard a lot of, this is too big of a swing for us,
right?
You know, from the streamers, because it's a weird idea, sort of crazy, but during that time of peak TV, you know, Apple was willing to take a swing on something weird like this. But I always you want to write the thing that you would want to see.
Yeah.
You never try to chase what some mythical audience would like. So this is just kind of my dream show, the one I wish existed. And so.
And then you also filmed it originally during COVID. I remember talking to Kristen Chenoweth promoting season 1 and talking about what it was like on set. I mean, it really came from that. People kind of don't even remember what it was like then. People don't know what it was really like on a set then.
And I think one of the reasons we got this amazing cast for the TV show was no one was working because there was no theater. And it was actually, they got pretty emotional at times. I remember Aaron Tveit, watching one of the musical numbers cross that bridge and just he started to tear up because it's this is the only place this is happening right
Right.
now. So it was, I mean, I wouldn't say it was fun
Yeah.
because there were a lot of challenges
Yeah.
during that time, but it was just, it felt really special
Yeah.
that we got to gather and do that.
One thing I loved about the stage musical is obviously we're dealing with a couple who there they are.
Yes. Melissa and Josh.
Yes, and they sort of find themselves in Schmigadoon. And I love the original inspiration was American Werewolf and
London, yeah.
The guys in that, right?
Yes.
It's sort of like, yeah, I love that. The fact that there's even a connection to American Werewolf in London to this is shocking to people. But they stumble into this land, and what I think works beautifully on stage is their story. You know, you really have a great anchor. Obviously, there's all these crazy characters, but it's really the opportunity, I thought, to really make that richer, and it just did it beautifully.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was always really important to me. Like, there just aren't enough stories, I think, about couples trying to work things out,
Right.
figure out a relationship. You know, most rom-coms like end where ours begins, you know? And so that was always really interesting to me. There's so much of me and my relationship with my wife in this show. But also, yeah, this was a chance in the stage show for me to dive back in and realize, oh, there are things we could do better. You know, and really highlight that relationship and dive a little more deeply into like how tough it is to stay together. It's just tough.
Yeah, and the structure of a musical is very different than the structure of a season on a TV show, obviously. So you're working within those constraints.
Yeah,
and I think they work beautifully. What about getting a Broadway company together? Obviously, Anne Harada is back.
Yes, thank you, Anne. She's the best. She's our veteran. Yeah,
Yes,
she struts around rehearsals because like she's the one. You know, she's OG.
What was it like
Schmigadoon.
gathering the rest of this team of actors? It's fascinating to see a whole different group of people playing their parts.
Yeah, and that was important. Like very early on, like we want to see like the proof of the material is that it can still fly on its own without Kristen and Alan and you know all those people and the cast we got is just it's phenomenal. Like Sarah Chase and Alex Brightman as our two leads. I mean, it is a dream come true. And I have to say I wasn't completely aware of what Sarah Chase could do, you know, but Chris was a big fan and like I'm blown away. Like she's got the comedy chops, but she sings like a dream.
Yeah.
So, and then one by one, you know, Brad Oscar and Mackenzie Kurtz and Izzy McCullough, and it's you know a who's who of Broadway stalwarts. So
So actually seeing it, I mean, you got to see it down in DC, and now actually seeing it on a Broadway stage, is it fair to say you're going to be around a lot, taking in the experience?
Yes.
I mean, this is definitely, like you said, a dream come true moment. You have to like take in the moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little embarrassing, but you asked the right question because I went to every performance in DC.
Every performance.
Yeah, because, well, also you learn something.
Sure.
Every audience is different. And that's sort of how I justified it, but also I just wanted to be part of it. So yeah, if you go see the show, you should look around and see if I'm there because there's a really good chance I might be there, like through, you know, the whole run. So, yeah.
So the score, obviously, the hits, the Emmy-winning Corn Pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, can you believe you have an Emmy award that says Corn Pudding
For
on
Corn Pudding. Yeah. That's never really saw that one coming, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are there how many things are actually referenced? I mean, I feel like, and then obviously season 2 of Schmigadoon went in a whole different direction with more of the candor and energy, the darker side. But like, I just wonder, like, are these your favorite shows, or you just have like this encyclopedic, like,
They're the
I want to know what's in your
iconic
brain.
ones. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, a lot of my preferences obviously end up in the show. You know, Music Man, I love so much.
Okay.
I think that's just a perfect show. But then, you know, you have to include all the Rodgers and Hammersteins. And then I love Frank Lesser, and I really wanted to include a little Lesser. And so one of the new songs that's new even since DC is very much a nod to Frank Lesser and Guys and Dolls,
nice. Okay,
which excited to add. So yeah, it's a mix of what I know people know, but also, my personal favorites.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about
Get
that.
preference.
I don't want audiences to be intimidated if they're not like Broadway musical super fans, right? Because it just works on its own, and you've actually written all these beautiful songs that do reference a lot of classic Broadway, but just works sort of on its own. I'm sure that's something you want to be really clear
that was
to
the
audiences.
goal. That there's a whole other level.
Sure. Yes.
For the weirdos like you and I who know, our Broadway shows backwards and forwards, but the idea is that like we all generally kind of know Sound of Music, and we know the tropes, and we know old-timey stuff. So most of it can just be appreciated on that level, I think. And we have our, Josh is a character who hates musicals.
Right.
So he's our way in for the people out there who who are not, big show fans.
We have a cynic in our midst.
Yes.
And Schmigadoon.
Yes.
What about, I know a lot of people were disappointed that we didn't get to see season 3 of Schmigadoon, which you apparently wrote.
Yeah, we wrote the whole season.
The whole season.
I wrote all this, like 25 songs, I think. I wrote a ton of songs.
And it would have been the musicals that made me fall in love with Broadway, the 80s. Mega musicals, right? That's what you were dealing with?
It was going to be called Into the Schmuds. But Phantom and Cats and, Into the Woods and,
do you think there's ever any chance we're going to see any of this? Or is this just going to live in your laptop for the rest of the
Well, I mean, I never want to give up hope.
Sure.
I always feel like that if maybe like Schmigadoon on Broadway is successful enough, takes off, that maybe Apple will take another look and say, oh, maybe. We actually had the timeline was 5 years after season 2 took place.
Time.
So we're still in that timeline. I'm just putting it out there. It could happen,
That's incredible. And I know one little nugget you told people was that the Norma Desmond, Sunset Boulevard and the Witch from Into the Woods was going to be a great character.
Yes, that was the character for Kristen. A witch from Into the Woods and Norma Desmond in one.
Oh man, I mean, like you can't like drop nuggets.
We need to see that.
Yes, we do need to see that. The fans need to see that. So as you enter this spring season on Broadway, obviously a very heightened, exciting time. There's a lot of new shows starting. What are you what are your hopes for the next few months? Just sort of taking it in and having, other than the fact that you'll be there every night.
Yeah.
I assume standing room in the back of the orchestra. Or are you going to sit and among the people?
I don't want to reveal exactly where I'll be.
It's like the Phantom of the Opera,
around.
the box.
I've
you have a certain seat. Save that seat for Cinco Paul.
I'll be popping around.
Okay.
I just hope people show up, obviously, but I think if they do, there's like a real joy to the show, and the cast is so phenomenal. So I'm just hoping people will share in that joy, and they'll laugh a lot, and then like everything I do, I want people to laugh, and then suddenly find themselves getting emotional at the end. And so that's the hope for this.
Yeah, you got me when I saw it.
Oh, did I?
You did. Yeah. These two got me.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah. And so, that's the goal. It gets me to, it's embarrassing to admit, but, it gets me too sometimes, I have to say.
Do you have any favorite cast albums?
The Guys and Dolls one.
The original Guys and Dolls,
The original Guys and Dolls, that score is just like out of this world. And so I love that. Sweeney, my favorite musical of all time is Sweeney Todd, which you might not expect. I'm kind of an optimistic person, and that show is obviously very dark, but Sweeney, West Side Story, Guys and Dolls, those are my holy trinity.
You did great Sweeney Todd stuff in season 2.
That was.
What about, can you imagine yourself writing another musical that's like not referencing other, like, is that?
Okay, I have one in the works.
Okay.
It's a musical about teenage Mary Magdalene getting a crush on teenage Jesus.
Really?
Yeah. It's called Sweet Jesus.
This is happening?
Yeah, this is happening.
You're like deep in the writing of this?
Yeah, deep in. I've been working on it for a while with Becca Brunstetter.
Oh.
I don't know if you know Becca.
Of course,
She wrote the book for The Notebook.
Yes, she did.
And
speaking of crying,
a lot of crying in that show. So that's sort of the next hope, and that one's just its own thing.
Okay, I love it. I love that you're here. I love that little Cinco got to be a Broadway guy.
Yeah. I still can't believe I'm talking to you. I can't believe this is all happening. But yeah, it's
all
amazing. I
happening.
just gotta like really deep breaths and soak it in.
Take it in.
Yeah. Luckiest guy in the world.
Awesome. Well, we're lucky too, because this is a beautiful show, and I'm so excited to see it again. Congratulations. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Yeah, appreciate it.